I'm not sure why I'm doing this exactly. It started off as I wanted to edit a video of me talking to the camera, kind of like a confessional. I say that a lot. Usually when I'm trying to think, I'll say, gets on my nerves. Or I'll say, a lot, like punctuate a sentence with, So those are the things I'm gonna be trying to edit out and that I wanted to check, and see if I could do that and make a decent video that was coherent and entertaining. Maybe somebody could learn something from it. Who am I to be giving advice? Think that I have a unique perspective on a few things that I'd like to share, and really now this has become something where I feel like I need to do it, because if I don't, people will forget I'm still alive. I don't know, maybe get a little attention or whatever, attention seeking behavior. I saw a meme today and it said, what would you do to keep your man from cheating on you? Or like, how do you stop your man from cheating on you? And like, what I wanted to say was like, don't wait up for him. One of those things that if focused on what you had to do to keep him from cheating, I mean, the relationship's already lost. I mean, first off, it's not your job to keep him from cheating, or her. If you try to control that kind of thing and you're trying to control them to stop them from doing that, you're asking for trouble. It's the last thing you should be worried about. I mean, if you're worried about that kind of thing, then there's other serious problems in the relationship already. There's trust issues for one. If there's a lack of respect, like he's not coming home, that's another one. These are all things that it never should come down to what do you stop from cheating. It's the behavior that creates that whole situation in the first place. And really, it doesn't take you to stop him from cheating. You can't worry about that kind of thing. If you're worrying about what they're doing when they're not with you, either you need to focus on yourself or you need to be with them if it's possible. I don't know, if you're not happy because you're not with them and they're doing something, then it doesn't matter if they're cheating on you or not. You're not happy. Anytime you're going to enter a serious relationship with somebody, you got to ask yourself, if they cheated on me, could we get past that and forgive them? If you can't, I think that kind of already says a lot about your relationship and how you view the relationship in the first place. And one of them is, it's not worth all the heartache and pain that relationships will encounter. I'm not saying that everybody cheats. What I am saying is that it's a high possibility that it could happen. You never know. I don't think it's something people should worry about. Like, focus on the things in your relationship that you should be doing every day, like being a good partner and loving that person, really loving them, not just loving them based on how much they love you and what they give you. Loving them because of who they are and understanding who they are and accepting them for who they are. Those and like worrying about the small things. You worry about making them happy. Don't worry about if they're cheating on you or not. And vice versa. You really can't control it. And ultimately, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Decisions. A lot of us are controlled by impulse, and we don't have any of that. We don't think it through until afterwards, and then we feel guilty about it, or you don't feel guilty about it, depending on who you are. But by then, it's already too late. And like I said, getting back to it, in this day and age, it's just there. It's got to be dealt with. So that being the case, it's the possibility of somebody cheating or doing something is greater than I think it's ever been. Maybe. I mean, I know that apparently people used to have like multiple families and stuff like that back in the day, and they didn't know about each other, but like it's not that anymore. It's hyper relationships now. There's so many and so quick, and there's so many options. It's like Netflix. You're sitting there looking forever, juggling multiple people, until you find whatever, you get stuck with something, So I think that it's a very mature thing, and if you really want to have a healthy relationship, something you need to consider if you're going to be in a relationship is, could I forgive this person if they did the ultimate betrayal? On the other hand, I think that if you have the opportunity, it's not the end of the world. If you do get in trouble for cheating and you do make that mistake, I think that we should really I guess all of us should basically be better at denying, impulse and making the right decision, even when it's not what we necessarily want, but making the right decision regardless. And I think the right decision, usually the one that's going to be the loyal decision, or the smart decision, the long-term thinking decision. You got to think about the fact that like when you do something like that, when you cross that line, when you betray your partner, you can't take that back, and you never can go back to that time where you basically had been faithful or hadn't cheated on them or hadn't hurt in one of the worst ways you could possibly hurt somebody. One of those things I think that maybe we think about when we're laying in bed late at night sometimes, and we just, it's like you can't go back and you can't change that, and you have that regret. Or you don't. You're able to kind of do that kind of thing without even thinking twice about it. We do leave ripples in the water of life when we do things like that. We hurt people and we drag other people to the mud, and we cause chaos in our lives that affect more than just us, and all it took was 30 minutes. I do think that the relationships that come through that kind of situation where somebody's cheated and they've basically tried to decide to work it out and stay together, which I think is smart, I believe that those relationships end up ultimately being a lot stronger and a lot more fulfilling, and it's something to do with going through that kind of adversity together and like really like tearing open the wound and then healing it together comes back stronger. And not always the case. I mean, there's certain times where it just lingers, but I think it's because one person hasn't forgiven the other person. They think they're going to be able to hold that over their head for the rest of the relationship, and that's ultimately, we all want what we want and we're driven to obtain those things, so we'll do things, we'll manipulate, and we'll play games, and typically somebody always loves somebody more. It's obvious who that is. The other person can play games and take advantage of that, which ultimately that'll come back and bite you in the ass. I mean, not always the case. Life's not fair. I mean, it's obviously, it doesn't have to be. We're not owed that. We live in this world and we need to navigate it to the best of our abilities the way it is. Everybody's got to do that. I think ultimately we're all just trying to do the best that we can with what we know and what we've been taught. I envy people that, I envy people basically that realized early on what they wanted in life and what they needed, accepted it, and then forged ahead. Like myself, I'm untethered. I don't have any obligations to anybody, or I'm not tethered to anybody to the point where decisions in my life have to be made based on another person's happiness. Because I don't have anything like that to distract me or keep me focused on anything other than myself, I start focusing on things maybe that are a little out of my control or a little bit, unnecessary, I guess. And then that can lead to a lot of frustration and a lot of like anxiety. You'll miss out on a lot if you're not happy with things. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, just you gotta realize, look at what you have and be happy with it instead of thinking about what you want and are not being happy with anything, I guess, or not accepting what you want or thinking you need better. I mean, if you want better and you can go do it, go do it. People, you can work for it, or you can find it, or it's out there and you want to believe in it. But don't look a gift horse in the mouth, is all I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, but I really don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm still alive, and I don't know.